Irontrader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out last night, and crude had a draw of 1.9 million. Gasoline had a build of 0.5 million, and distillates had a build of 0.8 million. So we're going to see if all the EIA confirms. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, and crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have Bitcoin daily and your weekly chart. Now, before we get started here, you can see the Nasdaq futures up here about 102, 103 area. Yesterday we had kind of like a turnaround Tuesday. It was kind of red in the morning, and then everything turned around to be very, very nicely. Now, remember, this is the last day, and then tomorrow's a holiday, and then we have just a shortened day on Friday. Okay, here we have the old Bitcoin. Let me bigger up here a little bit for you. Okay, there we go. All right, now you can see here we had this bottoming tail. Okay, so when we got to this oversold condition here, the same way here with the MACD. Now you can see how the little bars are starting to curl up. So if we can get that to turn, then the key is going to be getting above and closing above this 8 SMA. Now you can see here we had, after a bottoming tail, we have this sideways action kind of a situation. Now yesterday we had an inside day. Today so far we have an inside day. Now the key is right here is going to be 88,821. That's going to be very, very critical. It needs to close above. Once it does, then we can reverse this downtrend situation. Now, next level, 89,240 level. Okay, and that's what you're going to be looking at. Okay, then we'll come to the bottom here. You're looking at that 91,315 level. We'll come down up to this level here. Looking at 93,255. We'll come all the way up here. You're looking at that 96 level. And then we'll be looking here for this 21 day at 98,175, and that's going to be very, very strong because all you do is look in the past. See the way I had that tweezer top? Couldn't get through. Okay, right there. Couldn't get through. And then that's going to be very, very strong on the next, if it can get up in that area. Okay, so again, today, just watch that 8 day. We close above it. We got a good shot at, going all the way to that 21 SMA here. Now, on the downside, obviously, watch today's low. So far, you look at 86, 600 level there. Then we come down here, 86,135. We'll come down here, 85,200 a level. And then what we do is we look right to the left of the chart. Okay, so we have support levels right there. Okay, so you want to look right there at 83,905, and we have what do we have on here? The next one is right there. We got that 83,190 level, and then we can retest that 87,50 level if it gets all the way down to the area. But remember, we got to an oversold condition. We're sitting on the bottom. So what I'm looking for is some kind of a negative, positive divergence, I should say, so we can maybe get this here back above that 8 day and run it right back up. Now, again, this has been some really good trading here in the BITX. I know it looks pretty ugly, but a lot of times you can do two trades at one time. BITI for the short, and then I do BITX for the long situation, and it actually works out very good. Now, what I'm watching is that 8 day. That's going to be very, very key. Now, we look at a weekly chart here. You can see here we have a low, higher low, and actually a higher low situation here, okay? Now, you can see it came down last week here at a weekly and went below that 100 day, but you notice that it closed above it. Now, this week here, we stopped right at that 100 day, so that's going to be very, very key. So I always say here, you watch the 8 day. When it loses that, you go to the catch-all, the 21 day, then your 50 day, then we have 100 day. Now, if we lose that, then you can come all the way down to that 200 SMA. Now, the 8 day crossed over that 21 day, crossed over the 50 day, so that's going to provide very, very strong resistance at that 102 level here. Now, again, it can take a while to get there, so this 102 level could become 100 level. Okay, very, very easy. Right, so right now, as long as we're holding the 100 day, we're looking pretty good. Now, we came all the way to the bottom here. Now, we didn't get to like an oversold condition, but we came pretty close. The green is below your red, so we'd have to have that curl up. But again, got to be very, very patient kind of a situation. Today, just watch that 8 day. We get above it. We have a nice good shot at hitting that 21 day. Okay, take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here we have the Ethereum. Okay, now you can see the same thing as well with the Bitcoin. Okay, this waterfall on all your simple moving averages. But, okay, you can see here today where we penetrated that 8 day. All right, now again, we're below it. But again, this is going to be key, 29.45. You got to get above that area. That's going to be very, very key. If we can, then right there, 3,070, that's your next target, is your 200 day. Okay? Then we just venture right on here. You got 31.28 level. We'll come up here at 31.75. We'll work it all the way up to there to that 32.26. And then this is the level we're looking for, is that 32.87. Now, again, the 21 day is going to be very, very strong because just look in the past, popped up, closed below. popped into it, closed below. Okay, this here couldn't even reach it. So that 21 day is going to be very, very critical if we can get above the 8-day and get above that key 200 SMA here. Now, on the downside, just watch yesterday's low. That's going to be key. That's going to be 28.55. Watch this low right here. You're looking at 27.64 and then 26.27. That is your big retest down here. Now, we got to like almost like to an over sold condition, but we're hanging right on the bottom. The same way with your MACD. Now, it looks like the MACD wants to cross up, but again, this 8-day is going to be everything. Once we get above it, then we should be able to aim right for that 200-day and right for that 21-day. Now, if we keep on selling, say we lose this area, that 26.27 level, then here's your big target. It's going to be that 24.56. That's going to be your 200-day simple moving average. Upside here, it's going to be very, very strong resistance around that 30.66 level and that 30.98 level. That's your 100-day and your 50 SMA. Not saying it can't go through. It's just going to be very, very strong if it does get up into that area. Now you can see how the 8-day crossed over the 21-day, and that's heading right on down here too. So you got to have a lot of resistance as this here would be moving up. But again, we have this downtrend, so only way we can break this downtrend is you got to get back, start above that 8-day, and then the 21-day, and then we venture right on up. But right now, see how we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. So the 8-day here is very, very key. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now, this is actually playing out pretty much like I thought, except I thought it was going to curl up here, okay? So right now here, what we have this cup, okay? And now we have this handle. The key is going to be right here, that 42.50 level, okay? Now you can see here how we couldn't get through this 8-day. Look how strong that 8-day was, okay? But look how strong the support was on the 21-day. Closed right above it all the time. Now, this one here, popped right above it. Now you're above the 8-day and you're above that 21-day. And then yesterday we had the indecision candle. Now today we have so far a green candle. So this is what I'm watching right now is this 42.50 level. That's going to be key. We get above that. This is going to be your target, 43.46. And then we have your retest at 43.98. We crack that, you can head right for that 4,500 mark. Okay? Very, very easily. Now, again, on the downside, got to hold this 8-day, 41.04. That 21-day, 40.70. The 50-day, 40.26. Then we can retest this 39.25 level, which is right here. Okay. Now, very, very easy, but have a nice, good cup and handle. So when this started off, it had a nice, good cup, and then it's kind of rolling here. Then it went sideways kind of situation, but now you can see how nice it's curling up. The key is going to be right there at that 42.50. Once we close above that, okay, this target's going to come real quick. Okay, just that simple. Now, RSI, you're only at 61. That got plenty of room to run. The green now crossed over the red, shows momentum to the upside, which is very, very nice. So again, watch today, 42.50 on the upside. On the downside, watch the 8-day and watch that 21-day. Now, silver, pretty much the same thing. Okay, we had that double top situation, have a big kind of a cup here and a handle situation. So right now she's working very, very nice. So we had that 8-day, look how strong that was. We got above it, but we could not close above it until we had this candle here. Now, when this candle sold down, went through the 21-day, held it right at that 50-day. Look at that. Look how nice that held it. And the next day, look at there. It held that key 8-day, and then it closed above the 8-day and that 21-day. Very nice. Yesterday, indecision candle. Now today, nice green candle. So far today, 52.90, which you're looking for next, is going to be right here, 53.37. And then right next is going to be resistance at 53.76. And then 54.41 is your target. You crack that, you're going 55. Just that simple. So that's your upside. Downside, just watch that 8-day, 50.93. Watch that 21-day. We lose that. We have the 50-day. But again, respect that 21-day because how nice it held. Respect the 50-day, how nice it held. Now, we're only sitting at 62. That gives plenty of room to the upside. The green crossed over your red. Good momentum here. Nice trade here going on the SLV. And nice trade going on the GLD. Watching this like key level, that 42.50 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old crude oil. Here we have crude oil. Okay, daily and your weekly chart. Now, you can see here how strong that 50-day is. Okay, see that? So you got to respect it, and we're downtrending situation. Now, so far today, we have an inside day, an indecision candle. Yesterday, we came all the way down, made a low of 57.10 level. But you notice that it bounced right back up again. Okay, so right now, they're trying to get a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. If that happens, oil should come off. However, when you look at oil, what it's doing is actually I should say here it's really holding in very, very good compared to what's everything happening. Now remember, the U.S. is starting to buy, fill up the SPR here with the oil. But again, there's a big glut. Again, there's sanctions, against Russia. So you have a push-pull whole situation. So here's what we were watching. The key level is going to be right there. Is that 58.92? There's your 8-day. Next level is 59.59. Next level is 60.47. Okay, those are all your key levels. And then we have obviously 60.51 level. Okay, and then above that, we have that 62. And then above that, we have that 64. Okay, so that is going to be your upside. Now, the downside is you want to watch yesterday's low. That's going to be very key on a closing basis, 57.10. We lose that, you can come down here at 56.35 and then retest at 55.96. Okay, just that simple. We lose that 55.96. You're going to be right here at that 55.12 level. But right now, you can see how this descending high, lower high, lower high. Everything is descending on down, but it's overall it's holding in pretty good. Now, here on the weekly chart, you can see here how you have a descending situation going on down. But what you're watching is right there is that 55.96 level. That's going to be very, very key. If not, you can see here. See, if you look to the left of the chart, you got a target all the way down here at that 43 level. Okay, if you would happen to lose that. But right now here, you're holding in very, very good. But again, we've got to see how this is all going to shake out. But this time of the year, the summer driving's not here. But usually what happens with crude is it kind of like it sells off there to about the first week of December. And then first week of December, you really want to buy crude until about the first couple of days of January, and then it goes flat until February. But let's just see if it all shakes out. This year's been very, very fickle because you got wars, you got this, you got that. So it might not work. So again, just trade this chart and watch yesterday's low, trade against yesterday's candle at 58.96 on the high, 57.10 on the low. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Here we have natural gas. Now you can see you just have this sideways consolidation. We had that contract roll, it gapped up, and now we have sideways consolidation. So let's just see what we got going here. All right, so this 8-day is kind of like holding everything. Okay, see where this 8-day is? Okay, so 4.48, that's the key. Even though it came down below yesterday, that's where it closed. Today, so far, that's where it closed. So this is the key level of support is 4.48. If not, we look to today's low at that 4.44, yesterday's low 4.39, and then you're looking right here at that 21-day at 4.37, and then obviously your big retest down here at 4.23. Okay, but right now we have just sideways consolidation, and really it's been really good trading. I do UNG for the long, KLD for the short, and it's really, really good trading. Now the upside 4.46. You can see how it had hit that. Retested at 4.67, retested at 4.67. So far we can't get through. However, again, once we crack that level, then here's your target right there at that 490 level. That's going to be your big target and your upside. Okay. Now we look here. We got to like an bought condition, came down, but now we're sitting here only at 64. Plenty of room to run. The green crossed over your red. But again, we have this sideways action. The key is going to be 4.68 level. So how I'm trading it is basically between the 8-day and that 4.68. Okay, so this is how I'm trading this until we crack above it. Then I'd go all long until we hit that 490 level. Now you look here on a weekly chart. Okay, so here's that 490. Right? Okay, right there. But look how many big targets that we have once you crack that. Okay, and it could crack it. Okay, you have a lot of good targets. You can come all the way here to the bottom of there. Okay, your next level is 5.33 level. Okay, we crack all the way over here. You're looking at 5.83 level. We come up here. You're looking at that 6.46 level. We bring this right across. You got 6.3. Look at here. Look all the way up here. You got 6.54. We can rally all the way up to the 10. Now I'm not saying that's where it's going to go. But again, what we had is we had this sideways consolidation, but we have still a nice, good uptrending chart. Low, higher low situation. The key is you have to crack above that 4.68, then we can attack that 4.90 level. Okay, that's what we're looking for. But right now we have consolidation. So just look at this right now as a trade, long and short. Okay, until we get above that 4.68. Once we crack that, then we know where our target is at that 490. Okay. Downside, basically, watch that 8-day. Very, very key. Watch that 21-day. Okay. Eventually, this is going to move up, and it's either going to push that price up or it's going to sink down, and that 8-day is going to cross over. So again, trade this. Trader's market. All right. That's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading and take a look at a couple stocks. And remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.